I saw these loose bat barrels just lying around in the dugout. And I said to myself, I could probably drill out the center of that. As you guys know, there's a natural cupping to most of the bats. And I said, I bet you that hole can just keep going down and you can turn that into a pretty cool drinking mug. And that's where the idea was born.
Slap me silly and call me Wyclef Jean, because that ball is gone till November.
Oh my gosh.
Gone so till good. November. She'll be gone till November. Wow. That ball is gone till November. What do you got for me, Chopper?
Slap me silly and call me Wyclef Jean. I love that. Fuji's the score. I'm going to go with, I always like to have a count. I don't know why. But I'm going to go, the 3-1 fastball is crunched deep to left center field. And is that Christopher Cross I hear? Because that ball is sailing over the left center field wall for a home run. Bang.
Strong. We were, I don't know how we threw out better than Ezra pregame today, but oh, that ball was hit better than Ezra because it is wow, and she's gone.
Love that.
Wow. Now everybody's going to be singing that song all day long.
As they
Go
should
Spotify it, listener, and just get back into your best 1993 zone. Hey, buddy, how
What's
you
up?
doing?
Great.
If you're watching on YouTube, we're twins going glasses, going Coach Ballgame hat today.
Yeah.
You can find all the Coach Ballgame swag at coachballgame.com.
Yeah.
And that was my plug. What's your plug? You got any plugs?
You can get this beard. You can get this beard on coachballgame.com right now. This beard, it's a salt and pepper beard. Make sure you get the salt and pepper version. And it's about 2.5, 3 inches long. And if you order now, it'll also come with the mustache kit.
So coaches can probably relate to this, the male coaches out there. So my beard definitely has a little bit more gray than yours, a little more salt and pepper, but I did look side scalp and notice it wasn't just one strand. It was just out of the blue, like 15 strands of gray side right above the ear here when I was looking in my rearview mirror in my car. Have you hit that point yet?
I stopped looking. I got to a point where I was talking to Mark Pryor about this 2 days ago. Dodger Family Day. I got the bat signal call by the boss. Andrew Freeman reached out to me, asked me to come out, say hi to all the boys. So when the boss calls, you show up. That's just science. And so I was talking with Mark, and I talked about how much salt's in his beard, and he's like, dude, like I was looking at pictures 2 years ago. I'm like, same. It's how it goes, man. It's wisdom, though. So you're welcome.
It does
There's gonna be a tub going behind me here, Coach.
That's all right. A good tub. You got a tub in there for the listener out there. There are people working hard behind Chad Chop right now. They are putting a bathtub into your home. Well, I want to hear about that. Freedman calls you up. What'd you do? You took the fam to Mesa.
We took him to Glendale and just got to see all the boys, all the coaches, all the players, and I wore all my Push Ridge swag, which was great. So they were asking me about that. And it's a fun thing to talk about when you're playing the way that my kids are playing and the way we love each other. Look at that mug. I hope someday we get to have the founders and creators of that mug on this program. But yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And it was great to see those guys. And I mean, what a club. Got to meet Freddie Freeman and tell him that he probably learned most of his skills from watching me, because I played with his older brother in college, and he was an 11-year-old watching us play, and he watched a young Chad Chop launch balls over the left center field fence.
Yes. Yes. How about that? So Freddie, I hear he's just the nicest guy, huh? Just a sweet dude and
good dude, man.
Yeah.
Good dude that's going to fit right in with a clubhouse filled with just great humans. So Dodgers do a really good job, man. They bring in quality people, and Freddie's no exception. He's right there at the top of the list of just tremendous humans.
Who gave you the best hug?
That's a good question. Got a good hug with Mookie. Me and Gavin Lux hugged about 3 times. And I came up behind Cody for a backwards hug into a front hug, snuck up on him. Yeah, it was great. It was great to see everyone. Andrew gave me a great hug. B. Gomes, like all those guys, those are my people. And it's just a special group. They're tremendous people, all of them. So it was it was great.
And Dave Roberts just speaking truths, man. He is letting his team know that they are amazing and they're going to win the World Series. He's going Hunter Pence. He's already got the thought momentum going, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I do too. And it's one of those things where, you know, the wrong set of ears might say that's arrogant. Well, I don't think it's arrogant. I think he's speaking truth, and he didn't just come out and say it. Someone asked him, you know, Dan Patrick asked him a question and he answered it, and he answered it honestly. And I love that.
And he's earned it. Go listen to the Hunter Pence episode, folks, if you think that those words are arrogant. And yeah, maybe they could be from someone who hasn't earned it or who hasn't been there, done that. But I mean, Doc, he's earned it. And I love it. Watch the Jock Peterson episode.
Same thing. You don't think you're the best, you're going to get your ticket punched. So.
You don't think you're the Incredible Hulk in the box, you're going to get your ticket punched. And you've been sending those text messages to your high school team. We're going to win the state championship. Like, put that thought in their head, and then obviously sniff out any cocky, any arrogance in your club, and say that's not it, right? Because I mean, have you sensed that at all from sending that message to your team that you're going to win it all, and then they kind of take it the wrong direction?
Not at all. And when we say that we're going to win it all, I back that up with that should inspire us to work even harder and to double down on the details and the fundamentals and each other and resolve and character. Complacency's the devil in sports, in life. So as a coach, you can proclaim all kinds of cool goals. Ours in the micros to get better every day, and in the macros to win a state title. But in the micro, it's to get better every day, right? So that kind of like leads to that macro goal. But the boys are on an 11-game winning streak right now. Knocked out the back-to-back defending state champions last week and followed that up with 2 difficult wins on the road. Pretty special group, man. We got a lot of plans this week. We're going to do a team dinner on Wednesday and a team barbecue on Friday. We just love hanging out, Coach. We try to have fun. And when they get to third base, they choose between original Skittles or Wildberry Skittles or Sour Patch Kids if they're feeling crazy. But I have those all in my back pocket.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Now, are you still using signals from third base coaching box? I mean, you going wrist to the shoulder? Do you have an Apple Watch now? What do we do?
All verbals. I use all verbals. I have a few flash signs, but signs are for the birds. The only time I'm using signs, umpires earmuffs, is if I need to give a kid time to warm up. Seriously. And I'll do like a ridiculous amount of signals and like make sure everyone's looking at me and all that BS that we used to have to do as kids. Like, hey, pay attention. It's all fake. I'm literally just wasting time for my guy in the pen, and I can steal 30 seconds of pitch on just nonsense, just like not real swiping. No, yeah, it's all fake. It's all verbal. I do all verbals and flash signs.
Gosh, I have a lot of dreams, but one of my dreams is to be able to coach third base for the Cubs and just really explore the space physically with my dance moves on signs. Yep. And again, none of it'll mean anything because it's all verbal these days. But, you know, I remember seeing Will Ferrell go to a spring training game, and he was the third base coach, maybe for the Dodgers, or I think he pitched for the Dodgers, and Mattingly took him out.
Caught too.
But he caught too.
I was there signs. In 2019. Yeah.
You were there. Actually, he had a sign.
Actually, it might have been with the Giants, but either way, go ahead, continue.
He had a sign, like he brought in a sign and he showed it to the batter, and it said, "You are handsome."
Let's go. Love it. Matters.
That was the actual sign. Come on.
I love that. Will Ferrell was great. I'm pretty sure that was a little bit. I think I was with the Giants, but we were playing the Dodgers at Camelback, and he helicoptered in. He landed on the field in a helicopter, and like Will Ferrell's my guy. I love Will Ferrell. That was cool.
Gosh. Great dude. You talk about bringing new fans into the game. That's the way to do it.
That's a fact.
Today's guest is one of my good friends, and this guy hooked us up with David Mickey Evans, who was on our podcast earlier, the writer director of The Sandlot, and he's the founder and he's the president of a company called Dugout Mugs, and I've got 4 of them right here on my table right now. I've got the Coach Ball Game wine glass. So they make mugs out of baseball bats, and then they'll put any design you want on there. I've got my favorite team, the Cubbies. So you got the wine glass, you got the beer mugs, and then this is a special one, and I'll show him again when he comes on. But I had a family in Pennsylvania, and that was one of my stops on the Sandlot Tour last summer in Elizabethtown, PA. Got my Coach Ball Game logo on there, and all the different cities I went to on that Sandlot Tour. So what a dude. Can't wait to kind of unpack how he went from being a college player to a player in Blue Jays organization. Then he was coaching, and then he had this idea. And I mean, what a cool idea. And it's the same thing me and you do. Like, we love baseball, and we were asked to hit the road, basically. You're not coming back next year. You're not invited to spring training. Take that big bowl of reality and do something with it. And I mean, what'd you do? Well, you started coaching. You started throwing BP, and you started hitting fungos to Albert Pujols, by the way, who's now a St. Louis Cardinal.
Love that.
Attaboy. And just can't wait to unpack kind of how he took his love of the game and he did something with it. And now these mugs are in all 30 MLB stadiums. And he's partnered with every team, and really cool thing. So
that's great.
Before he comes on, we haven't touched on the fact that Major League Baseball's back. Like, I think we just kind of forgot to talk about that. But how does that feel, man? How you feel having MLB games back on your MLB TV and in the stadiums?
It's great. It's just means a lot of viewing for myself, taking in the Giants and the Dodgers games. And I'm excited. You know, it's cool. You can watch those games, like the entire game in 45 minutes. I think I'm going to need that. Like, you just watch the action pitch, which is an okay way to watch a game. It's not the best, obviously, as we know, there's so many ins and outs and things that lead up to the action pitch, but it's still a kind of a cool way to watch the game. So I'm going to probably do a lot of that this year, but I'm really, really excited to watch both those clubs. They retooled, and they're going to be battling it out in the NL West. It's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Some great battles, man. I mean, you got that AL East, the Blue Jays lineup, the Red Sox lineup, the Rays are going to Ray, the Yankees are going to be the Yankees. And then you look NL Central, our recent guest, Albert Pujols, he's now with those St. Louis Cardinals. Our recent guest, Boog Shambi, calling games for the Cubbies. I think the Cubs are going to be fun. I think the Cardinals are going to be right there with the Brewers as far as the teams to beat. And there's just good battles all across baseball. And like you said, we might not have time to watch a 3-hour game because we've got kids and a full-time job and then another job on top of that. But I'm excited to just pop on some games on my MLB TV, maybe go to some Angels games, Dodgers games, and just good to have it back.
I'm excited to try to hopefully get on your weekly recap, and maybe we just do a tag team. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'll throw it out there.
Flamingo Jennings will be back with his Monday MLB recap, baby.
I love that, with the music and that's an albatross. I love it. It's the best. If I can get in on that, oh my gosh, that would.
There's a mixture of Keith Olbermann and Dan Patrick from SportsCenter in there. Yes. There's some Norm Macdonald, Saturday Night Live in there. There's some David Letterman in there. I mean, all the guys that I grew up, enjoying watching with my dad, and Dad loved Letterman. And SNL, and then I loved watching SportsCenter. So it gives me a chance to kind of, just like the podcast, like push pause on my coaching life and do something else, do something creative.
Keith and Dan didn't go on their own, so you choose Keith and or Dan, and I'll be the other, and now we go. Just saying,
that's a deal. That's easy.
Done. Can't wait.
So good.
Perfect. Everyone, you heard it here first, folks.
I heard it here first. Well, when our
Dave Letterman laugh.
When our guest comes on, we're going to have a little trivia session. It's going to be Canada trivia. Why? Because he played in the Blue Jays organization, and our man Chad Chop, the bearded wonder, played in the Expos organization, who's now the Washington Nationals.
Canada.
So
Canada. Okay.
We're going to go Canada with that. So for any of you listeners out there that are wanting to beat them in this trivia session, there's your little hint.
Research. Yeah.
You got any topics at the top? Anything hitting you?
Yeah, Deb's my better half is in California right now.
Oh, snap.
Right by
That's
you.
lit.
Yeah, she's in your neck of the woods. She's at Disneyland for the next 2 days with our middle son, Mr. Noah Stephen Chop, which is great for them. And it's a borderline travesty for me over here. I'm just taking grenades. We have 3 babies, and I'm a dad, and I'm not a mom, and I don't have the insert whatever you need to insert. There's a long list of things that I lack to get this done, but I'm doing the best I can. I got Boaz off to school here barely. He's wearing Crocs on a rain day. So that's, hope for the best there, and tie-ties at school. So that's good. But it's a struggle. I had to be at the same place at two different places at the same time yesterday. So I failed in that, but I had to make a choice. So dropped Bo off at football. And then I went and picked up Titus from preschool. Debbie did this for 8 months while I was gone. It's insane.
Unbelievable.
She's the best. Yeah,
with 4 of them. We've talked about it. We can't do what they do.
Not at all.
We just can't. And I've got Mrs. Ballgame, working on the Coach Ballgame website and getting everything set up so people can register and all these different sandlots all across the country and all my summer camps that are coming up. And then she's got to be Tara Jean. She's got to be mom. She's got to get the kids lined up with summer camps herself and all the different things that they do in school. And we're getting kicked out of our house in a couple months. We've been renting a house here in Lake Forest. So there's all that too. And
another layer.
It's amazing what those moms out there can do. So atta girl once again to all of you. We had rain yesterday, so I got rained out from my sandlots, and I think that's pushing your way now.
It is. Yeah. It's
today
raining outside. Yes, sir.
Sun's out, guns out. We're ready to go today, but I've got sandlots this week here in California, and then I'll be hitting a few different towns in the next 2 weeks for spring break. Going to hit Utah. Pretty excited to fly into Salt Lake City and coach some kids there in Farmington, Utah. And then me and Tara Jean are doing a little 9-year anniversary trip to Nashville, Tennessee. Beautiful place.
It is.
And we're going to do some sandlots on Good Friday, April 15. Kids are out of school. Let's have a Good Friday. Let's play baseball. So going to run sandlots in Nashville, Tennessee. And then before you know it, it'll be summertime. And looks like I'll have a busy summer traveling all over the country. I'll be doing some sandlots of my own. I'll be doing camps of my own in North Carolina and California. And then we've got some good news. I'll probably break it as soon as the contract is signed, but got some good news from a big entity, some exciting stuff. So going to partner with something, and it's going to be cool. So that'll be breaking news whenever we sign on the dotted line. It was going to happen.
Can't wait.
It was going to happen 2 Marches ago, and then something called COVID happened. So excited to announce that. And yeah, just kind of doing what I read about our guest is doing in his life, where I love baseball and I love creating things. He loves to do the same thing. And that's just kind of what I decided to do with my life. So I wait tables and substitute teach for a decade and a half. And now I can do that. I can coach kids for a living. And where should I move now that we're getting kicked out of our house here, Coach? Where should the Lowe family move?
Easy. Oral Valley, Arizona. That's easy. Next question. Come be my neighbor. There's 2 houses on my street for sale. Come live on a cul-de-sac and live your best life. That's easy.
I think Kike would say bang.
Bang. Yeah, that's automatic. Yeah, that's my vote. Now, Nashville, I know is in the running, and that's a tremendous place as well. And that's close to your family. But
yep,
my
my
vote
family's
is
in North
selfish.
Carolina, so
Yeah, my vote is selfish. My vote is Oro Valley, Arizona, one of the top 10 cities to raise a family. That's a fact. Bang. And
is that science or is
we'd
that
love to
math?
have you. No, that's a combination of the both. It's a STEM school. And we live on a golf course. So you'd be living on the fifth green if you were my neighbor.
Now that is something I need. I need to live on a golf course.
I know.
Kind of need it.
You can use my golf cart whenever you want. There you go.
Deal.
That's my put you over the top. I like that you said you love baseball and love creating things. I love baseball and I love people. And that's what I was asked last night by one of my kids, like, hey coach, like after high school, where do you want to coach? You want to coach college? You want to get back into professional baseball? And I said, honestly, I don't know. I know I'm committed to 14 years at this high school because my baby's 4, just turned 5. So I'm going to be here for 14 years. And then I don't know. I have a passion for the game and for people. So wherever that takes me, I'll be ready. But we love it here in Oro Valley. I know that.
Did getting back to the Dodgers family make you miss your old job a little bit?
No, I mean, I miss the people. So it was great to see them, but like we have phones and I told Cody I'd be texting him every day, reminding him how great he is. And same with Gavin Lux, and got to see Walker Buehler and just tell him how good he smelled. He smelled like success. Gosh. Went in for a big hug. And I mean, that's whatever that cologne is he's got on, that's it. It was,
I think it's called like Walker
Rich Mahogany.
Buehler.
Yeah. Rich Mahogany. He had some show kicks on, and they don't have a dealer yet for the Plains. So I can neither confirm nor deny. There's a good chance I'll be heading out there in August. And when the Dodgers go on a sick run in August, don't be surprised. They're going to get a little Chop love, a little Chop energy infused dog days of summer. So
I think that should just be a yearly contract. Whenever you're done with your season there and you've got some time, like you're now part of that family, just like you're part of the San Francisco Giant family. Like that, it's never going to leave. And you're a text message away.
Meet him in a city and let's go. Yeah, that was good. It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. And it's funny because even Debbie asked me that too. Like, did that make you miss anything? And it's like, no, I'm so happy with where I'm at. And I'm so happy for the Dodgers and just talking to the front office and like, what an amazing job they did to get the boys ready. And, and obviously the players are as good as it gets as humans and as athletes and as hardworking. And it's just a tremendous group. So when you get out there and you get to see all these guys, it's just fun to just tell them how proud you are of them, and it's great. It's really cool. And it makes you feel good. Cody's like, hey, it's not the same without you. That makes you feel good. But at the same time, like, oh my gosh, they're going to win, 125 games probably. So,
gotta give your gift away every day,
You're right.
And
right. It's a great day to be great.
You can do that on a text thread with your Dodger family, and you can do that in person with your high school baseball team fam.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to hit on our guy Albert before our guest shows up. It looks like it's going to be his final run here, right? It looks his last year. Signing with the team that he came up with. He's got Yachty there. He's got Wayno, and we were just talking about you being, a big part of that group there in LA. And they text you, they miss you, they ask you for hitting advice, and I think Albert, he's going to be playing. For sure, but I think he has an open spot in that front office or as a consultant, whatever he wants to do with that club for the rest of his life. So, what is Albert going to bring to St. Lou that who knows might help him get to the big dance?
Well, I'll correct one thing you said there. Dodger guys do not ask me for hitting advice. I go to that clubhouse and I go as a sponge. And I try to absorb as much as I can from the greatest hitters on the universe with the best hitting coaches in the world. So
maybe mental advice.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of like, how do we stay in the moment and all that good stuff. But when it comes to swipes, as Coach Brown calls it, they're the leader in the clubhouse in swipes. So I go in there as a sponge. But with that said, Albert Pujols, tremendous leader, tremendous human, give you the shirt off his back, competitor, trying to find a way to win. He'll take whatever role they're going to give him and he'll embrace it and maximize it. Obviously, the Cardinals got a great human, great athlete, great player, great competitor. Albert's, if he's not the best, he's one of the very, very best to ever do it. So he's great.
Yeah. Bringing that leadership and that vibe, and, him and Yachty and Wayno, like that clubhouse, forget about it. Leadership galore. And it was nice to read about his former teammate, Mike Trout, kind of ready to take on more of a leadership role. I was reading an article, and Ken Rosenthal wrote in The Athletic about how, Trout's just kind of put his head down and been the best player in the game for most of the last decade. And now he feels like maybe he could take on more of a leadership role. And I mean, how cool is that to have Shohei and Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon in that clubhouse? And then you got, best player the last decade that's ready to take more of a vocal leadership role. I'd jump in that clubhouse for sure.
Yeah. Trout's undoubtedly the best player of the last 10 years. And if he can kind of channel into that, kind of like Kobe, right? In his first few years, like he was really, really great. And even when he became one of the best, if not the best players in the league, he wasn't quite that leader yet. Once Shaq was, removed from the equation, we love Shaq, but once he was removed from the equation, Kobe elevated his game like the Michael Jordans, the Mookie Betts, these guys that make others around them better and challenge them. And if Mike Trout starts doing that, watch out. And they did some good things. They retooled their bullpen and their pitching staff. They needed to do that. It's been about 10 years of needing to do that. Every year as Angel fans, they're hoping they retool the pitching, and instead they sign, Rendon and some of these others. Like, great, Rendon's a great player. You're going to lose games 14-13 because you don't have enough pitching. But they got the pitching, so that's great. It looks like our guest is jumping in here, Coach. Pretty excited about this.
There he is. There's another one. Now, the couple of things that must happen for you to be a guest on our podcast. A, you got to be handsome. So there's that. And B, you got to be a good person. And Albert, handsome, good person. Mookie, handsome, great person. And this guy, super handsome. And for the listener out there, go over to the YouTube and you can see it. His name's Randall Thompson, and you've probably seen his mugs. I've got 4 of them right here. These dugout mugs. I've got the wine glass. Boom, Coach Ball game on there. I'm drinking water and milk out of that every day. I got my favorite team, the Cubbies, right here.
Cubbies are rocking.
And got some other cool stuff. One of my kids I coached in Pennsylvania on my Sandlot tour, he started an Attaboy fund to give kids that can't afford Little League a chance to play baseball. That kid's 12 years old. And then he also gave me this mug, which kind of tells all the different cities I went to on my Sandlot tour last year. It's Randall Thompson, folks. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good, man. Welcome.
Great. Meet my buddy, Chad Chop. He's worked in the Dodgers and Giants organization the past decade. Now he's coaching high school ball in Tucson, Arizona. And we're glad to have you, man. What'd you have for breakfast?
Nice to meet you, Chad. Yeah.
Nice to meet you too, Randall.
What'd you have for breakfast, buddy?
Oh, I had a mango green smoothie.
Love that.
Chopper, did you go 2 bars?
No, I actually just going iced coffee. I'm trying to do the what's the intermittent fasting?
Don't eat diet? Yeah.
Yeah. You go like you don't eat and then you eat as much as you can right before bed. It's not really working out, but I crushed like a pizza and a half last night. So that was awesome. It's fun while you're eating.
Well, Randall, I'll just give you the snippets here, listener. Grew up in Orlando, Florida from a young age. He had 2 loves, baseball and being creative. And that pretty much sounds like me. And, getting to know him a little bit, we're definitely kindred spirits. He played college ball at Florida Tech, pro ball in the Blue Jays organization. You guys might have, traded Beard Bomb in the minors,
Possible.
you two, because
what
Chad
year?
Chopper,
he looks younger than me.
Yeah, what years were those?
2011 and 2012.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, Chopper's
2002 for me. Yeah,
a decade prior. So let's get right into this. This is a beer mug that you can drink any kind of drink out of,
Yep.
and it's made out of a baseball bat.
So cool.
I mean, it's just too cool. Where did that idea? When did the light bulb go off, brother?
When I was coaching college baseball after I got released, and the hitting coach / recruiting coordinator, he was in the dugout with a handsaw cutting wooden baseball bats in half. He was creating his own training tool. I saw these loose bat barrels just lying around in the dugout, and I said to myself, I could probably drill out the center of that. As you guys know, there's a natural cupping to most of the bats. And I said, I bet you that hole can just keep going down, and you can turn that into a pretty cool drinking mug. And that's where the idea was born.
Oh, cool.
I'm sure you didn't dream of doing this as a kid, but you dreamed of playing pro ball like I did. Same thing as me. I dreamed of playing baseball my entire life. And then when somebody says you're not invited anymore, you have options. You could go play softball. You could try independent ball. But for me, I found a passion in coaching kids. And I think, I don't know exactly how we met, but we're both kind of on that same path of trying to make a life within baseball because we love it so much. So I guess I'll start there. Where'd you learn to love the game of baseball? Was there a guy? Was there a coach? Was there a mentor that helped you fall in love with it?
Not really. It really has been kind of like this unexplainable love affair. And from a very, very young age, no one's ever really had to twist my arm to get me out to a baseball field. The first time I ever played baseball, I was in T-ball, and it was at a field that was just around the corner from my house. And I used to sit on the stoop and wait for my dad to pull up with a bucket of balls and a bat bag, wait for him to pull up from work and throw it in the back of his truck. And he'd say, I'm going to go inside and get changed. And we'd go up there and we would play baseball until the sun went down. So like it was never like a scenario where there was a moment or a person. It's just kind of like I got introduced to it at a young age. And then from that time on, nobody had to ever twist my arm to do it. I just loved it.
Yeah, it's the same for me. In like, to your point, like that's all I ever wanted to do. Right. Ever was, I wanted to be a baseball player. And all my friends would always say like, oh, well, what if it doesn't have, what if you don't get a scholarship? What if you don't get drafted? I was like, there is no what if. Like, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, and so like I would never got off my dream. And that's the only way you get to these spots, like professional baseball. And then from there to get to the major leagues is timing, luck, health. But the love's got to be there and the passion. So it's awesome, Randall. I can relate, dude. It's for those kids out there and for those parents, like if you're forcing your kid to play baseball, stop, find their passion. And then pour into their passion. And if your kid does love it, just keep facilitating it and making sure they're having fun, and the love just continues to grow. But I love that, Randall. That's great.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think it's also important to know, like, no matter how talented you are, there is going to be hardship that comes along the way. Something that like a lesson that my dad, like one of the best lessons that he's ever taught me that I apply in my everyday life now, that like trying to make a business bigger and bigger, is he kind of just give me that one more mentality. Like just give it one more day and see what the next day looks like. He just giving that little bit of extra time and thought, and because I almost quit in high school, and thank God I didn't, but my dad kind of pleaded with me and said, hey, just give it one more season and just see what happens. So yeah, I think
our one of our first guests, Nick Henley, his dad would always, tell him in the backseat of the car after a game where he went 0 for 5, like just eat this elephant one bite at a time. And I use that every day, in parenting, in building my business or whatever it might be, just tackling the daily struggles, just one small bite at a time, you can eat this elephant. So I think that's great. That's part of facilitating a young child's love for something. And if you're trying to push down I want to say, like, kick down a revolving door. Like, you spin a revolving door. You don't like kick it down, right? Yeah. Then it ain't going to work. So, I mean, my kids, they love dance. They love gymnastics. I'm not going to throw baseballs at them all day long, so find their passion. I love that big time. So you're coaching college baseball at your alma mater when you get this idea. So how do you go from the idea to actually, just pragmatically making it into this execution?
Yeah. Well, let me touch real quick on something on passion, because there's something that, and then I'll answer that. But I think there's something that's really critical that I heard about 5 years ago, and it was a huge pivot point for me, is that the root word of passion is struggle. That's where Passion of the Christ comes from. And most times, people say, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I can't find my passion, whatever it is. Really focusing on the things that you've struggled with in life. Most times you can find a lot of passion in that, because we learn our best from the stuff that we struggle with. So you usually know the most about the stuff that you've struggled with. And then when you're able to take those lessons and apply them to other people's life, then ultimately that's where passion's going to come from. So
that's huge. Yeah. Can I touch on that real quick before you answer that question from Coach Ballgame? I tell my kids all the time when we're at practice, and if we're failing through something, and it's like, hey, this is why we're practicing, right? We're struggling because we're not perfect at it yet. And if we were perfect, it would be boring and we go on to something else. So it just kind of piggybacks on what you just said. As a coach, if a kid's struggling, remind them that that's why you're working on it, and it's okay, and keep grinding and keep going for it, and breathe, and one more day or one more rep, but don't quit. And don't fold the tent because it's hard. If it was easy, everyone would do it. I love that. That is a great way to describe passion. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And taking the idea from an idea in a dugout to actually having a workable thing. I initially didn't try to pursue it. I just I kind of threw it into my back pocket. I'm an idea machine. I love coming up with concepts, and I love coming up with product ideas, business ideas, all sorts of ideas. And I just kind of threw it in my back pocket. And then I realized coaching wasn't for me. And I wanted to be creative every single day. So I took a job at an ad agency as an intern. And I was waiting tables at night and then working this ad agency during the day. And both kind of exploded at the same time. And I was kind of just in a weird place in life, and living in my sister's backyard, not like in a tent, but she had a detached garage that was turned into a studio apartment, and she was charging me $400 a month to stay there. And I was like in month 2 of not being able to pay her, and I was like, what is my life, And shortly after that, I get a call from Sherwin-Williams Paint Company for a job that I applied for months before. And they said, hey, do you want to come in for an interview? I say, sure. So I start driving this delivery van, this paint delivery van. And I was doing that from about 6:30 in the morning to about 2:30 in the afternoon. And my idea was I was going to take that time to make the money to be able to funnel into this idea that I had in a dugout once, that it seemed simple enough that I could drill a hole in a baseball bat, turn it into a mug, and then try to sell it. And it seemed like a really, really simple concept. And it took me about a year to figure out how to put a hole in a baseball bat. This whole time, all I needed was a wood turner, but I didn't know that. And it's always so easy looking back and knowing exactly what you needed. But when you're learning a whole new language, wood turning or woodworking, and another language, just the business, manufacturing, prototyping, and you're trying to learn all these new languages while working a full-time job, things always just take more time, take more money than you'd ever anticipate they're going to take. So eventually I got there, ordered 100, sold those 100, ordered another 500, sold those 500, ordered 1,000. And then we sold about 300,000 of them last year. So
it's amazing.
Nuts.
It's just gotten huge, and it's in all 30 major league parks, 50 states, 7 countries. And I do draw parallels to my Sandlots and Coach Ballgame and your company. I've been coaching since 05, but I really dug in and went head first dive into my Sandlots around 2015. And I had somebody that kind of shoved me, and it was my wife, and she saw the passion I had, and she saw just the space, the need for this sort of thing, this baseball sandlot where it's about building character and having fun and reaching kids on a deep level. And she pushed me. Otherwise I would have just kept kind of being safe and doing my waiting tables and substitute teaching and private lesson gig. Did you have somebody that pushed you a little bit in that should I continue to drive paint trucks time?
Yeah, actually. And it's kind of the plot thickens, really. There's another company that does this, and that was an initial company that I started alongside the guy that also started it, and we kind of both pushed each other to like bring this to fruition. We were both kind of in a point of our lives where we weren't happy with where we were, and I would recommend this, not necessarily the way that it ended, but I would recommend this for anybody. You got to have some sort of accountability partner. You have to have somebody that really believes in you, and you do have to have somebody that kind of just gives you a shove when you need it. And the combination of those 3 things can yield a bigger and better you. A quick story of years ago. I was with that same guy that was cutting baseball bats in half, and I was out on the Flats River fishing with him. I don't really like to fish all too much, but like it was just something to do. And it was like 4:30 in the morning, and we're out there, and it's freezing cold, and he's a huge he catches like reds in the flats and all this stuff. And so we're waiting out there, and we're probably like belly button deep in this water, and he's like doing hand signals and stuff and trying to tell me where to cast, and I'm just so miserable. It's freezing cold outside, and I just wanted to go home and get in bed and say the hell with this. And eventually I cast out, or he tells me to cast out, and I reel in a redfish that's just like humongous. I have a photo of it. I'm just so excited. And I think that there's a cool lesson that's within that, is like the concept of one more cast. You don't know what's going to come with that one more cast. And then also surrounding yourself around people where you don't want to let them down. So I was out there with Merck. I didn't want to leave him out on the water by himself, freezing cold. I didn't want to let him down. So I think the combination of those 2 things, of finding somebody that's going to kind of keep you accountable, someone that you can stand side by side with, and also just that one more cast mentality, I think is a huge key to anything that you want to pursue in life.
Well, we've talked about it, me and Chopper, on this podcast, how just one brave move or one brave thought can really change the course of your life. Chopper's in a 24-hour fitness working out, and he sees Hunter Pence, and who's going to go up to Hunter Pence and start a conversation? But Chopper goes right up to him and says, "Hey, anytime you want to hit some batting practice, I have the keys to Laguna Beach High School, and I'll throw batting practice to you." Like, who does that? Who says that? And that leads to 5 years with the Giants, 5 years with the Dodgers as a consultant and video analyst and all sorts of things. And now all these guys have come on this podcast. So, Chopper, you can probably speak to it better than me. That little thought, that brave move, where'd that come from?
Yeah, just take risks. And even just how I ended up in Laguna was taking a risk, and my wife being willing to take that journey with me. And when you take a big risk, a lot of times there's a big reward. So just be fearless. You can be safe, and that's okay. And most folks are safe. But if you take a risk and you take a chance and you kind of go up against it, watch out. It could be pretty awesome. And that's what we did. And I ran into Hunter and just said, "Hey, dude, if you ever need anything, let me know." And he said more recently, like, "Yeah, everyone always wants stuff from me, but you didn't want anything from me. You just wanted to help me." And that's that being that, like, kind of be a servant, you know? Yeah, that's where that came from.
That's neat.
And, you had a guy that'd been there, done that, and won a World Series championship like Hunter Pence, empowering you and saying, "I love your vibe. I love what you're about. You should pursue this even harder." I had the same thing with Joe Buck, who saw what I was doing and was like, "I'm going to fly to New York and I'm going to talk to MLB for you. And I'm going to open up doors with Fox." And it's like, it could have been my upbringing. I was taught to just like, stay humble, stay, don't think I'm anything, and there's something very valuable to that. But when you have somebody that can empower you to say, "Okay, it's time to take this leap. You should be there." It means the world. And now, I'll go into a grocery store and say, "Come to my sandlot, come to my baseball camp, because it's going to change your life and your kids." 7 years ago, that was not the case. Like, I didn't want to bother anybody. I didn't want to pass out a flyer. Did you have somebody that had been there and done that empowered you, Randall, as you tried to go into 30 major league ballparks?
That's I think another interesting point where passion is born is somebody else recognizing the potential within you. I think there's passion that's born in those moments as well. Yeah, my business partner now, Chris, is kind of like this fearless guy that like will start a conversation with anybody, and like he'll spin you around 14 times and you'll look up and like you're just like, wait, like a good example of that is this Pro Scouts Gala. It was in California. And this was like maybe 3 years ago or 4 years ago. And we made mugs for the gala, and Chris somehow got us backstage, and we were just taking photos with everybody that was part of this gala, like King Griffey Jr. and Buster Posey. And we had no reason why we were backstage. We just supplied the mugs for the event. But somehow Chris talked to this person, who talked to this person, who talked to this person. All things came together. And that's Chris. Is like, if we want to go and tackle something, he's a great person to have by your side, because not only is he the first to act on whatever it is we're trying to accomplish, he's also pumping my tires to make sure that we can get through the dirt, so to speak.
Gotta gas you up. Love that.
Yeah, gas you up. What is Chopper? You'll bring Jock Peterson or Kike into the clubhouse and give him a dig me sesh, right?
Dig me sesh, gas him up. You got to have that guy that's in your corner that believes in you as much, if not more, than you believe in yourself, and he will not let you get off of that fact that you're great, and it's a great day to be great, and let's go.
Mm-hmm. Joe, so the first door that really got open for me, Joe got me to the celebrity softball game at the 2018 All-Star game. And the first guy he brings up for an interview is King Griffey Jr. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I've got MLB Network beside me and all the other news outlets, and I was the first one to interview him. 20 minutes later, all the other camera guys are like, "Are you guys doing a documentary? What's going on here?" But, Griffey wanted to talk youth baseball and really gave me a lot of time. And then at another moment in that game, I think Drew Carey is on the mound pitching, and we were trying to interview all these celebrities to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" with me. And Joe's like, "We got to go across the field. We got to go to the other dugout." And everybody's like, "We got 3 camera guys. We can't just walk." He's like, "Just start walking." And we just walk right behind the umpire and the catcher. And Joe's like, "Nobody knows who we are. Nobody knows who anybody is. Just keep walking."
It's true.
That's what it made me think of when you were, when your pal was like, "Let's get back there and talk to Griffey." Like you just got to keep walking. Nobody knows who anybody is anymore. So act like you're somebody,
chest out, shoulders down, shoulders back, smile. Yeah. And just go. And then before you know it, you'll be where no one else can get to, because you just had the fearlessness of like, hey, let's go. We belong here. Let's go. If you act like you belong there, good chance you're going to stay there.
And it's the message. I know this message is necessary in the game of baseball, spreading joy and building character. So yeah, I'll do it. I'll go as far as we need to go. That's what I noticed about you, Randall. I mean, I reached out to you because David Mickey Evans, who wrote and directed The Sandlot, and right away you send an email, hey, got to introduce you two together. You should be on his podcast. Same thing when I went and did my Sandlots in Tampa. You reached out to everybody you knew to try and, spread the word about this guy in a funny hat coaching baseball. And, we've never met in person, but just that kindness, it means the world. And, I would do the same for you. Where'd you learn that? I asked Albert Pujols, why do you choose good? And his answer was, that's part of the gig. It's part of my responsibility. Did you have somebody that taught you about character, kindness?
I think my dad. And what's interesting about that is like, I think in some ways, like my dad's shortcomings, he kind of really tries to hone in on me, or at least he tried to hone in as I was a kid. And I think that's most parents. They might live with some regrets, and then they pass along those regrets to kids. I'm sure that exists within youth baseball in a big way. But this is the absolute truth. I'm somehow blessed that I'm always around really great people. And I think part of that reason is that from a really young age, my dad was like a huge stickler to make sure that I would follow up with people and just see how they're doing. Or after a baseball camp or clinic or any sort of conversation that I was having with an adult, shake their hand, thank them for their time. And I think those small little things of just checking in on people and thanking them for their time, I think the combination of those two things kind of stuck with me from the time that I was a kid through adulthood. I haven't really thought too much about it, but I think that kind of draws people in when you appreciate their time and you check on them just randomly. I think what ends up happening is you start cultivating people around you that are just, without getting too hippy dippy, are just kind of, they just kind of vibrate at a certain frequency.
No doubt. Chopper, I mean, you live by that code.
Yeah. And that's 100 pence. It's karma is a term that a lot of people use. And I think it's true. And to Randall's point, like the people that you want to be surrounded with respond to that. And the people that don't, you don't want to be around them. So like, if you're checking in with someone and like, hey, beat it, nerd. Well, cool. You don't want to be around that guy. Right. So like the more you check in with folks and they reciprocate, like, you're like, okay, this is my circle. And it's that old adage of show me a man's friends and I'll show you his heart or his character. And for us, talking to coaches and players out there and parents, make sure you know who your kids' friends are. You know what I mean? Because if they're doing bad things, your kid's going to get caught up. And if they're doing good things, your kid's going to get caught up in a good way. My friends growing up, we didn't drink, we didn't party, we didn't do that stuff. We were all athletes and we wanted to be great. And if I showed up one day and said, hey, I want to go do this or that, or go shoplift, they'd have been like, you're out of your mind, dude. We're not doing that. Right. So it's that positive peer pressure. And that's a big deal. So for our parents out there, be aware and don't just assume your kid's okay. Ask.
Yeah, it's critical. It really is.
Love it. Well, there's no smooth segue into our next topic, which is trivia.
Let's go.
But we always have a little trivia sesh with Chopper and our guest. And your birchwood right here, birchwood comes from Canada. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's Canadian wood right there. That's Canadian birchwood, Chad Chop. You played in the Blue Jays organization, Randall, and Chopper played in the Montreal Expos organization.
Thanks. You
so our trivia today is it's all about Canada. and it's about the Blue
As it
Jays,
should
and
be.
it's the Expos / Nationals. So these are questions based on those two organizations. And as soon as you know the answer, Randall, just try and spit it out. If you have the wrong answer, then you can just keep on spitting out answers till you get the right one, and we see who can get it first. Number one, Toronto Blue Jays all-time home runs leader.
Delgado.
Correct.
That's a good answer.
Carlos Delgado, 336 bombs with a Blue Jays uniform on.
Can we just end there?
That was
Game
awesome.
over.
That's as good as he's gonna get.
Anybody know second and third place?
Joe Carter, Sean Green, a couple of power.
Carter's probably on there.
Yeah, all incorrect.
Love that.
We've got Mr. Bautista and Mr. Encarnacion.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, a little
That does
newer.
make sense.
Okay.
2 and
Joey
3.
Bats. Okay.
1-0. Randall. Question number 2, listener, can you answer it before they do? All-time leader in hits for the Blue Jays. 1,583. Not John Olerud, but boy, did I love watching him play.
Well, if I'll just say I'll say Bautista. I don't know.
Here's your hint.
Give us a position or something. Give us something.
Shortstop.
Yeah, I was afraid you're going to say that.
Like a really smooth shortstop.
Not Tony Fernandez. He didn't have a lot of hits, did he?
Correct. 1,583.
He had a lot of hits.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He passed away last year. Tony Fernandez, most hits all time in a Blue Jays uniform. Tie game 1-1. Canada.
Big one right there. That was a big one.
Smelling the birchwood. I'm smelling it. By the way, the kid that got me this this Attaboy baseball fund mug is Owen Wolf of Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania.
Attaboy.
And his dad is my boots on the ground. Anytime I go to Pennsylvania, he's the guy. I love finding boots on the ground, by the way. Randall's my boots on the ground in all of Florida, basically. And that's how I set up Sandlots. Hey, I've found the heart and soul of the community. Can we find a field? Can we get it going?
Love that.
Anyhow, back to the action. Blue Jays all-time leader in at-bats.
Carter?
No.
And it's not Tony Fernandez again, right?
No, none of these are repeaters.
Repeat. I figured you wouldn't do that to us.
5,470 career at-bats in a Blue Jays uniform. Here's your first hint.
Roberto Alomar Jr.
Nope. Your first hint is a bug type of car. A bug. You got it.
Volkswagen.
Connect some dots a little bit, but
Voltsy.
Yeah, a bug.
Here.
Slippy, Slappy, Swanson, Samsonite.
I probably know the very least about the Blue Jays, so I'm glad this.
Oh no, you nailed Delgado. That was amazing.
I know.
That was great.
I don't know.
So the bug reference was to his initials, VW.
Oh, Victor Wells.
He's got the last name right. What's the first
Vernon
name?
Wells. Bang.
Vernon Wells.
That's it.
So you each get a point there. Vernon Wells.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I don't hate it.
2-2. Let's go over to the Expos, and this is Expos and Nats.
Now we go.
All-time homers leader in that organization.
All time now. The Nats before, like this is after they switched over to Washington.
This could be Expos, Nats. This is the whole Kit Kat
Senators.
caboodle.
Is it Senators too?
It's the whole organization.
I'll say Ryan Zimmerman.
I like that answer. Bang. He's like, okay, enough of the nonsense. Zimmerman. 3-2.
Zim just retired with 284 bombs. Played with one team the entire time. Mr. National.
Great human.
Okay, now I'll give you. This is an Expo. And
Gary
this
Carter
is the all-time leader in triples, not
Gary Carter. Not Gary Carter. Triples, huh?
Expos all-time leader in triples.
I'm going to go with Rock Reigns.
Correct.
Boom.
82.
Dang.
That was my manager, 2004.
We're tied 3-3 now.
It's a great game.
A tie game. This is a great game. And Rock Reigns was your manager. Any good Rock Reigns manager stories?
Yeah, that was my worst year in pro ball. So I was scuffling a little bit. So he takes me into the cage and he just starts doing this, like the Chicago White Sox, Frank Thomas, hit off your front foot shenanigans. And he's like, just try to hit like this. And just laughing. I'm like, this is not ideal. You don't want a Hall of Famer teaching you, because they're like, why can't you just do it like I do it? And it's like, well, Rock, multitude of reasons. But I'm trying to back leg balls and you're trying to front leg balls. So love Rock Reigns though. Great human, great laugh, great smile. True baseball man. Hall of Famer.
And a great nickname. Back to the Blue Jays. Blue Jays all-time leader in wins as a pitcher.
Pat Hankin.
Clemens.
Neither. Great names.
Didn't hate it. Yeah, I liked it. I'll allow it.
Neither of them are actually in the top 4.
Jimmy Key.
So, Jimmy Key is in the running, but not number 1.
I like Jimmy Key. It's another
Jimmy Key was 4th all time.
I don't hate it. Okay, we're trending. Randall, we're trending. We're getting closer.
175 wins. 5 seconds.
David Cone was a Blue Jay? No? Was he a Blue Jay?
That's the first name. First name is Dave.
David Wells.
Dave.
Not David Wells.
Yeah.
Dave Stubbs.
You're so close. It's Dave Steve. I get a point.
Steve.
Dave Steve. 175 wins. Halliday, 2.
Who could forget a name like Dave Steve?
Jim Clancy, 3. Jimmy Key, 4.
Good artist, Jim Clancy, or good writer, Jim Clancy, right? No?
A good
I
video
think so.
game back in the day.
Video game, there it is.
Let's go back to the Expos, folks.
Splinter Cell.
It's still a tie game, 3-3.
Real quick side note. Are you too young for Splinter Cell? Randall, were you in Splinter Cell? Because minor leagues, that's all about, like Splinter Cell, hide the body.
I don't know.
Splinter Cell was the game. You don't know anything about it. You were playing Halo or Ghost Recon, because video games are a big deal in the minor leagues.
We were playing like PS2 MLB The Show.
Okay, I'll allow it. Create a character.
I was playing the basketball game on Atari.
Aha. Pong. I think it was called Pong.
All-time Expos, and this could be Expos or Nats, leader in sacrifice flies.
That's a great question. Gary Carter.
Good guess.
I mean, I don't hate it. Okay.
Here's your hint. Here's your hint. He was a teammate of his.
Of Gary Carter's. Larry Walker.
Wow. Love that name.
That's a good name.
Hall of Famer.
You're not wrong.
The answer, though. He had probably had a lot of sac flies with the Rockies.
Yeah, it's also true. Vladimir Guerrero.
Good guess.
Just don't have good ball players left and right.
This guy had a great career with another ball club as well. But he was a teammate of Gary Carter's. That's a good hint for you.
It's not a bad hint.
Was he a second baseman?
He was a right fielder.
Andre Dawson. Bang.
Correct.
Take it. Point. Boom.
Andre
Coach
Dawson.
Boggan's favorite player. Randall. That's his guy. That's Randall. That's
my
Coach
guy.
Boggan's guy. The Hawk.
Chad Chop lost the first 8 games, and he is now in the lead and could possibly go 2 out of his last 3.
That's correct. Because in my mind's eye, I was thinking, I'm 1-1. I'm trending right now. I'm hot. I didn't want to jinx it, but hey, let's go. We're in a good spot.
I got to turn it on now.
4-3. Yeah, we've got 3 questions left, and let's stick with the Expos organization. Most strikeouts by a pitcher. Expos Nationals.
Pedro Martinez.
Good guess. Not correct.
That is a good guess. It's none of those pitchers we had on the top 4.
I haven't heard his name yet.
I like that.
Oh boy.
Dave
Most
Stewart.
strikeouts.
No, he was a lot of time with the A's.
No.
He only be pitched for the Blue Jays.
This is for the
Right,
Expos.
This Blue Jays or Expos?
I'll give this is the Expos organization, and your hint is
Randy Johnson.
Your hint is he never played with the Montreal Expos.
Max
So
Scherzer.
he's a
Scherzer. Scherzer.
Incorrect.
You got it first. Strasburg.
Correct.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Let's go. Sorry to yell. Tommy
nail
Gold,
on the
fix that in the
coffin.
post. Fix
No,
that yell in
keep
the
it.
post.
Turn it up, Tommy Gold. Turn
That
it
was awesome.
louder.
I thought it was Scherzer, dude. Golly, good guess.
Randall needs these last two just for the tie. And these are real toughies. So good luck.
Dormy.
Yeah.
Dormy.
And I'll take top three on this one. Expos Nationals organization, most pitching wins. Any of the top three names. Expos Nats,
Scherzer.
most pitching wins. Not Scherzer.
No, it's
He
not.
had
It's,
too many wins with the Tigers.
I can see his face. I know who it is. I can see it.
Here's a hint. He threw a perfect game.
Yeah, this is not the same guy that I'm thinking of.
Mustache, perfect game.
I'm so sad I can't think of Livan Hernandez is on the top three. Bang.
He's not.
Devastating. I had that guy. I was certain. All right. That's fine. Fair enough. I got to circle the wagons. Perfect game mustache.
Most all time was Steve Rogers at Expos pitching wins. And then you're looking at
These are all Expos.
A name we've already said. And this is the first repeat name that we've heard. And then a mustache perfect game.
Dave Steeb.
Good guess. I mean, he had a mustache.
And a perfect game.
Yeah.
I'm going to need some hints here, Rand. I don't know if you need hints, but I'm going to need some more hints.
Wow.
So Strasburg is top three, as is Steve Rogers. But this name, initials DM. Mustache, perfect game.
Dennis Martinez.
DM. Correct for the win.
Bang. Let's go.
Dennis Martinez to a perfect game.
Big Chaw, right? Tobacco.
Oh, man. And then for those Canadians out there, the all-time leader in saves for the Blue Jays is Tom Hankey. Tom Hankey, 217 saves. Great name, man. You're the man. Thanks for coming and playing and building up Chad Chop's ego.
Yeah, I needed that, and I need to get your contact info. I'm going to order a bunch of mugs for our seniors for senior gifts. So I'm gonna put in an order. And thank you for being here, dude. Thanks for having vision and passion and being awesome and great facial hair.
Thanks. Yeah, for sure. Just connect us on a text message, and
we will connect you too. And I bought all my assistant coaches this summer dugout mugs of their favorite team.
That's
you can really get anything. I mean, just. Man,
I'm gonna put this logo right here, boys. That's the high school logo right there.
You're going to put the high school logo of your high school baseball team on there.
With their name and their number.
Randall, where does everybody find you, and what can they expect to get?
Yeah, anywhere that you search out Dugout Mugs on social media, and then if you want to connect beyond that, LinkedIn is a good place to connect. Just Randall Thompson on LinkedIn.
You're great.
Dugoutmugs.com. They got the mugs, the wine glasses, the shot glasses, the bottle openers. It's just good stuff. So I appreciate you coming on, talking baseball with us for a half hour.
Thanks, guys.
Great job, man. Really appreciate you. I hope you have a great day, and just thanks for being awesome, man. We appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you.
Have a great day. Dugout Mugs, get them.
See you, boys.
Round of applause.
See you, dude.
Better.
This birchwood smells really good, man.
I can't wait, man. Hey, you just gave me an idea. I'm going to go coaches get. I'm going to go all over the map here. I'm going to get crazy with it.
No, you should. And all my assistant coaches absolutely love this thing, and I don't drink beer anymore, but I drink milk and I drink water out of this thing, and
calcium.
It's, if you want to go with the wine for maybe Diesel, who loves a good baseball team, you can go there, or you can put her name on there. You can put whatever you want to on these things. So super cool. And you can find them at every major league ballpark now. They're in it to win it.
It's great. And there was a grind there, and they pushed through it. And his buddy Chris got him backstage, and the rest is history. I love that. Be fearless, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you most of the great ideas, nobody's ever thought of them, and they're simple, right?
Like debit monopoly. Like I was playing debit monopoly back in spring training in 2002. And then in 2006, guess what came out? Debit beeping Monopoly. And I was like, that's devastating. I was playing with the oversized calculators with my brother and my wife, and we were just too lazy to use the money. And now that's a thing. Unbelievable.
Right.
Don't get me going.
Find something you love and then
take a chance
and then create a lifestyle adjacent to it.
I love it.
So we're good to go.
That's all
exactly what we're doing. Speaking of, and Mrs. Ballgame had this great idea, and we're going to start doing it. We're going to, we've been doing this free of charge, no ads, no nothing, but we're going to open up a Patreon, and we're going to, our next big name guest, Chad Chopper, we're going to hold it. And if you want to sign up for a Patreon membership with us, we're going to give out special stuff. Maybe once we get Kershaw, that'll be extra stuff. We'll still be throwing out the Spotify and the weekly stuff, but we want to be able to support, the time we spend doing it and pay our awesome Tommy Gold. So what do you think of that? Open up a little Patreon.
I don't know what it means. I have no frame of reference, but I love it. Let's go.
It's just a thing where people pay like $2 a month or something like that and support the program, and raise your hand out there if you would be game for that, and we'll give you some great behind the scenes stuff and some special interviews. Right.
I love that.
And Tommy Gold gives a round of applause to that.
Yeah, round of applause. I think it's time. We've proven that we're going to be consistent and continue to put on great guests and love our neighbor, and I think everyone would support that for a couple bucks. I know I would.
There you go.
I know. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's all day.
And
Patreon.
That's just how the world works.
Capitalist society.
Exactly. And so, and I just love how Mrs. Ballgame, she, as soon as I just start giving too much away, she's like, nah, it's not going to work that way. I like that.
No, I think it's a great idea because people, I'm sure they appreciate what we're doing. And that's a way to show your appreciation, is to throw, look around your couch for some loose change and, toss it into an account electronically, like debit Monopoly, and then, support the boys.
Exactly. And support Dugout Mugs. They're doing good work. So
yes, sir.
Right on, brother. Anything else before we say goodbye?
Have a great day. Have a great week. Don't forget to rake. Pushridge Lions are hot right now. If you're buying stock, get some stock in the boys. And let's go.
And the North Carolina Tar Heels are hot. Let's see if they can beat the Dukies this weekend.
Ooh, that's a rivalry as old as a tale as old as time.
They've never played in the NCAA tournament, those two teams. That's nuts. And they're meeting in the Final Four, and it's Coach K's last year. Hubert Davis's first year.
You cannot make this up.
It's a 30 for 30 waiting to happen.
It really is. They should start a Patreon. Man. I feel like.
I think they will. I think ESPN Plus should start a Patreon. Hey, thank you, listeners out there. I love getting all the messages, all the questions. Keep the questions coming, and it gives us something to chat about here on the podcast. And maybe next week I'll have some big news to break, and I'll break it right here on the podcast.
Can't wait. That'll be great. Have a great week, buddy. Proud of you. You're the best.
Proud of you. Rake.
See ya.